Hello guys and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Heather. Where have you been all my life? I love makeup, I love colourful things, and today we're getting into some mythology and makeup. We're going to be doing the first 4 labours of Heracles, or Hercules, depending on how you want to say it. The translation I found of the myth said Heracles, so that's what I'm going with. And yeah, this is the look that I did. If you want to see how I did this, if you want to learn more about Heracles and more myths, if you just want to chill out, watch me put on some makeup, then feel free to join me, grab a snack, settle in, and thank you very much. Let's get into it. As I said in the intro, we are going to be doing the 12 labours of Heracles, or Hercules, or Hercules, whatever you prefer to call him. Now, I wanted to do this one because I loved watching Hercules as a kid, and recently, as I've been researching these, I have noticed that Hercules actually took from a few different myths, actually. The reference Oedipus, which, I mean, when I first watched it, I thought that was just a I say when I first watched it, obviously not first watching it, watching it back, I thought that was just a Freudian thing. I didn't realise it was actually a Greek myth. They've got Pegasus, who actually didn't belong to Heracles as far as I'm aware from the research that I've done. They also have a Clash of the Titans style vibe, with Hades being almost like Kratos, where he wants to take over Mount Olympus. Whereas, again, as far as I'm aware, it was never Hades that wanted to do that. So, let's settle in, get yourself a drink. It could be a bit of a longer video. Get yourself a snack, get comfy, and let's get into it. So, Heracles is the bastard son of Zeus, and his wife Hera, understandably, not a fan of Heracles. First of all, naming your bastard son kind of after your wife is a bit of insult to injury, but that's just me. I personally wouldn't be the most impressed, and Hera wasn't either. Yeah, so she doesn't like him, and she decides one day to send him insane, being nice like that. So in his insanity, in one version Heracles kills both his wife Megara and his kids, and in another version he just kills his kids. Either way, not good. And coming out of his insanity, understandably very upset, he prays to Apollo's oracle and asks what he can do to repent for what he has done. And Apollo's oracle turns around and says, "You've got to go and serve King Eurystheus of Mycenae for 12 years as punishment for what you've done." So off he goes to Mycenae. And goes and serves King Eurystheus. And he gets given, it was originally 10 labours, but it turns into 12, and we will get into that as we go. There are a few reasons why it gets extended. But yeah, so he goes to Mycenae, and Eurystheus gives him the task of killing an invulnerable lion. Because why not? So off Heracles goes to kill this supposed invulnerable lion. And on his way he stops at a town called Cleone, where he runs into a guy called Molluchus. Now, Molluchus says he's going to sacrifice an animal to pray for a good hunt for Heracles. And Heracles asks him to wait 30 days before he sacrifices this animal. If he's not back within 30 days to sacrifice it to Heracles as a hero, or if he does make it and comes back, then they will sacrifice it to Zeus together. Nice and modest of him to ask him to sacrifice an animal as a hero for him. But you do you, Heracles, you do you. So he eventually gets to a town called Nemea, which is where the lion is, and has been terrorising people. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I'd be pretty terrified if a lion was running around. Especially an invulnerable one. So he follows this lion to its cave, and he initially tries shooting flaming arrows at it, obviously not believing the invulnerable part. And it doesn't work. So what he does do is he sneaks into the cave and chokes the lion. And he brings its skin back to Eurystheus as requested. And Eurystheus is now terrified of Heracles, because A, he's a demigod. I mean, I don't know who wouldn't be scared of someone who's the son of Zeus, king of the gods, but he's also just killed this invulnerable lion. So what Eurystheus decides to do is get a giant bronze jar built and submerged halfway in the ground, so he can very maturely hide from Heracles if needed. Basically his little safe space. And it's said that Eurystheus gave all of his orders to Heracles either from this jar or via messenger, because he didn't want to have any direct dealings with Heracles, because he was so scared of him. Apparently I struggle to cut my crease and talk at the same time. Anyway, the next labour that he has to go and do is to go and kill a Hydra. Now, if you've seen the Disney film, or if you're a Marvel fan, you will know that when you cut off one head of a Hydra, 2 more will take its place. So, a Hydra is actually a 9-headed serpent that is venomous. So, not only have you got 9 heads to deal with, you've also got the worry of venom. I don't know why I'm going back over this after I've just cut the crease, because I'm super clever. Yeah, so only one of the 9 heads of the Hydra is indestructible and therefore immortal. So you basically need to find the right one, while also avoiding the other 8. So Heracles and his cousin called Iolaus head to a town called Lerna. Now, the Hydra was terrorising people in Lerna, and so they headed towards the murky swamps where the Hydra lived, where its den is, and they lured it out of its den by, guess what, using flaming arrows. He definitely has a MO, Heracles. But I mean, you do you. But what they find out is that the Hydra is not alone. Oh no. It has a friend. And its friend is a giant crab. So first things first, after they've lured it out, the Hydra grabs Heracles by his foot using one of its coils. And while this is happening, the crab is trying to bite Heracles' foot, and Heracles is bashing the Hydra's heads in with a club, which is obviously not helping the situation because it's just growing more heads. Now, Heracles eventually manages to kill the crab and release himself from the Hydra, and they basically bash a head in, and then Iolaus helps by holding a flaming torch near the tendon so the head can't regrow. So they eventually manage to narrow down which one is the indestructible one, and they chop its head off. And then, for good measure, to stop it from reforming, I guess, they bury its head and put a giant rock over it, just for good measure. And then, before heading home, Heracles dips his arrows into the Hydra's venom. because apparently flaming arrows weren't sufficient. They have to be venomous too. And after he gets back from killing the Hydra, Eurystheus decides doesn't count, despite the fact everything Heracles has just been through, doesn't count because he had help. I mean, if you were facing a Hydra, you'd want some help, but not allowed. So this is where the discrepancy is, where they say it was initially 10 labours but it's actually 12. And you'll find out the other one in a bit. When I can stop wiping green all over my face. Excuse me. So Heracles, although he has technically done 2 labours, he's down to 1. And if it was me, I would be really annoyed. Looks like I'm sure Heracles was. Obviously don't want to speak for him. Not that he's real. I'm doing well. But yeah, so 2 creatures down but only 1 labour done. And so for the next labour, Eurystheus challenges Heracles to bring him the hide of a deer called Serenia, because Eurystheus wanted it as a gift for his daughter. Now, Serenia is a very special deer. She is the pet of Diana, who is the goddess of the hunt and the moon. Now, if I was Heracles, you wouldn't really want to go and get this deer because you don't want to piss off another god. But if Apollo's oracle says you've got to do what you're told, you've got to do what you're told. I picked the wrong colour for this. Anyway, the deer, like I said, is the pet of Diana and is a very special deer because it has golden horns and bronze hooves. So obviously pretty valuable. I'm in a mess of this. We're doing well, it's fine. We'll work it out. Yeah, so off Heracles goes to find this deer. And he hunts the deer for a year until she finally looks for a place to rest on a mountain called Artemisius. Now, Heracles shoots her with an arrow, but before he can leave, he is stopped by Diana, believe it or not. And she was pretty angry because he's just shot her pet. So Heracles explains what's going on, how he has to follow these orders, and that the oracle told him he had to. So Diana heals the deer and basically lets him take it. Off he goes with this deer. So he takes it back to Mycenae and that's it. I'm never really sure what Heracles did with the deer. All I know is it was meant to be a present for his daughter. And then the next labour is he has to bring back the Erythmian boar back alive. This was yet another creature that was terrorising people. Maybe Eurystheus was just cleaning up the areas. Maybe he was just getting Heracles to do some tidying up for him. I don't know. So the Erythmian boar has again been terrorising people. It's been terrorising people and animals, basically destroying crops and everything else. And so on his way to finding this boar, Heracles stops to visit his friend called Pholus. Now Pholus is a centaur who lives near the mountain, and Pholus offers to cook Heracles a meal, being very nice, and he is also a centaur, I should say, and they have a meal, and then Heracles asks for some wine, and Pholus admits he is quite reluctant to open the wine because it belongs to all the centaurs, not just him. And Heracles tells him not to worry and opens it. And believe it or not, the centaurs can smell the wine and come over to find out who's drinking it. And understandably, they are not very happy that someone's drinking their wine, and a fight ensues. So Heracles starts shooting him with his arrows, and Pholus, bless him, wonders how something so small can kill a creature as large as a centaur. And if we remember from the Hydra, these aren't just any arrows, are they? Nope. They are covered in Hydra venom. So unfortunately, Pholus drops the arrow. It lands on his foot and kills him. All because he invited Heracles around for a meal. and Heracles comes back after killing more centaurs, finds his friend dead, buries him, and then continues on with his quest. Not looking back, basically. Being a very, very nice friend. And so he managed to find the ball quite easily because it is snorting around, making lots of noise, searching for food. And he ends up chasing it, and then eventually the boar gets frightened and tired and tries to hide in a thicket. And Heracles, no innuendos here, sticks his spear into the thicket and drives the boar into a patch of snow. And then he throws a net over it, captures it, and takes it back to Iceni, to Eurystheus, who was hiding in his jar. Yeah. So that is the first 4 labours of Heracles. I think that's enough for today. I'm going to finish up this look, do my face, and yeah, I'll show you guys the finished product in a minute, or in a second for you guys, more like in a while for me. See you in a minute. So here is the final look. I did my lower lash line, put some lashes on, put some earrings in, obviously, from You're Not Ready collection. Lime Crime lipstick, Pastel Roses pigments is the glitter. The lashes are House of Boo. I think they're Peekaboo. They could be Clara. I can't remember. I put them in my titmouse holder and I can't remember which one's which now. But yeah, so what did we think to Heracles so far? Is he the hero we think he is in the film? Is he just a guy who likes beating things up? What do we think? Like I said, if there's any myths, anything like that you guys want me to cover, please do let me know. I really enjoy researching these things. And yeah, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, turn on the notification bell. You guys know what to do. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me. It means a lot, especially if you've made it to this point in the video. You guys get a gold star, and yeah, this is the final look, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.